Try again. Okay. O Millie ko inoa. No Halawa Heights. I am my own. Noho ao I Litchfield Park, Arizona. Aloha mai kako. My name is Millie. I live in Litchfield Park, Arizona now, but my roots and my heart are always grounded in Oahu, where I was born and raised and where I returned to take care of my father until he transitioned. I am a proud alumna of Windward Community College, and even more so, I was part of the very first cohort of the Hawaii Loa program pathway created for non-traditional students like me. I am also a grandmother, or as my na mo'opunas lovingly call me, puna. I have 10 mo'opunas with one more on the way. My mo'opuna live on Oahu, Hawaii Islands, and 1 year in Arizona. I returned to college as an adult, a caregiver, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a woman who had already lived a whole life and still have more to do. I have I had no idea where to begin a roadmap, no generational guidance on what college looked like. I was the first in my family to graduate from high school and the first to pursue a higher education. I wasn't even sure if I belonged in school, but then came TRiO. And TRiO Student Support Services at Windward Community College reached me at a time when I didn't even realize how badly I needed them. I was an online student living off the island for a time, and yet still made space for me. Uh, I received weekly emails with encouragement from Rochelle, scholarship opportunities, event invites, access to workshops, even ones I could attend virtually. I didn't feel like an outsider. They made sure of that. One of those emails changed my life. I was It was a scholarship through the Rotary Club of Hawaii Kai, and I recall being extremely nervous as I walked into that interview. I dressed professionally, overthought everything, and just before I went in, Royce turns to me and says, Millie, be yourself. That's all they want. You got this. And that grounded me. When Rochelle called me to tell me I'd been selected, I cried. She cried with me, and it wasn't just about the money, it was about finally feeling seen, being heard, and being believed in. TRiO helped me build my resume. They worked with me on cover letters, scholarship essays, and everything I needed to show up prepared and confident. They didn't provide services, they gave me the courage to access them. They reminded me that I was worthy of opportunity. When I moved back home to Oahu to care for my father in his final stages of life, TRiO became more than a program. They became my refuge. 7 days a week, there was a space open. I could go in, print, paper, access Wi Fi, grab a hot cup of coffee, or breathe, study. It was the only place I could focus on myself, not as a caregiver, not as a provider, but as a student with a dream. During finals, TRiO went above and beyond. They stay open 24/7, providing hot meals 3 times a day and really delicious onomea ai, snacks, showers, a place to nap, and even a 15-minute seated lomi massage to relieve my stress. I remember sitting in that chair or in that table, letting go of all my tensions I didn't even know I was carrying. That wasn't just support, it was healing. Napio, Rochelle, Roy, they knew me by name, and I traveled back to Arizona and Oahu a lot, but they always knew my name when I came through the TRiO. They greeted me across the parking lot with hugs. Napio would see me from far distance and he would say, Millie! They stayed open once in a while after hours when I had to do an exam. I still hear them in my head saying, take your time, but hurry up, Millie. Uh, they created a space that felt like Ohana, not because they had to, but because that's just who they are. I earned my associate's degree in Hawaiian Studies while raising grandkids, balancing two homes between Arizona and Oahu, and caring for my father through his final days. That wasn't just a personal win, that was a generational shift. And I owe that to TRiO and the Hawaii Law program from seeing me before I fully saw myself. TRiO isn't just a service, it's a lifeline. It's the difference between giving up and making it across the finish line. And to those in leadership, senators, representatives, decision makers, y'all had once had to walk that same academic path. You had to step into classrooms where you may have felt lost. You had to study late, question your worth, doubt your future. But 30 years ago, we didn't have TRiO. We didn't have the built-in support system that exists today. So imagine the impact in TRiO and how it's had thousands of students, just like me, who just needed a hand to hold and a voice that said, you belong here. And because TRiO will continue, someone will be there to say, yes, you do. You matter. And mahalo for my lei, and mahalo for all that you do, TRiO. Mahalo nui. Ahui ho.